she's sweet but a psycho. A little
But off on the running, Tiger Roll lurched to the elbow. Magic and Light to Rathbind and trying to rally. Tiger Roll's been out in front for a while. He's got a 5-length lead and 150 yards between himself and a place in history. Tiger Roll for Magic and Light. Tiger Roll keeping up the gallop up towards the line. Back-to-back nationals, the first since Red Rum. An entry great. The little Tiger Roll beat Magic and Light. Rathbind and walk in the mill. Out of our fly, one for Arthur Eagle Encore.
Yeah, delighted to get it, our first win in it, and what a way to do it. She was brilliant, delighted with her, and I mean, on ratings she was still up against it, obviously, especially with Apple's Shade, and to go and do what she did was pretty incredible, I thought, and just delighted for connections.
You're very welcome back to our sports review of the year. It's racing next here on this On The Ball special. That was Waterford trainer, Knockeen trainer Henry de Bromond as well. What a phenomenal season he's had in 2019. And before that, of course, Tiger Roll winning back-to-back Grand Nationals at Aintree. Davy Russell, the winning jockey in that one. Of course, he's the special guest at tomorrow night's annual gala, Park Hotel Waterford's Supreme Sports Star Awards banquet. Always a great night. Really looking forward to that in the park tomorrow night. We'll have the details of the winner on our Monday morning sports bulletins here on WLR. But to review the racing action over the course of the Christmas period, Matt Keane spoke to our man in racing, Mark Phillips, who dissected this season's 2019 racing action. Plus, in a little while, we'll also get his take on the greyhound racing scene from 2019.
I suppose it all started in Tramore on New Year's Day, the listed Savills Chase. The winner there was Album Photo, trained by Willie Mullins. Little did we think when we saw that horse winning that day that he would go on to taste success in the Cheltenham Gold Cup in March. Willie Mullins is plotting the same route for him this year, and hopefully he will see him in action on New Year's Day in the upgraded Grade 3 Savills Chase. It's been a stellar year for Henry de Bromond, as you know yourself, Matt.
Incredible,
isn't it? A fantastic year, yeah. He had two smashing winners at Cheltenham, Manila, Endo and a plus a Plutar. Ornua scored at the Aintree Grand National Festival, and then Honeysuckle captured a Grade 1 Mayor's Hurdle at Fairyhouse. That was in novice company, and then she stepped up on that success by taking the Hatton's Grace Hurdle at the same venue. Manila Endo was successful at the Punchestown Festival, and of course Poker Party won a competitive Kerry National at Listowel. That's just a quick snapshot of Henry's winner. This Honeysuckle, she looks the real deal, Matt. I suppose watch out for her at all the major festivals in 2020. There were talks that maybe that he should go with the champion hurdle with her, but I suppose she's still relatively inexperienced, so he may go the mayor's route at Cheltenham and maybe next year go back for a champion hurdle, and then she will always jump a fence in the future as well, so there's plenty of options going forward with her. Tramore Racecourse, they had a good year outside attendance wise. Tramore trainer Pat Flavin did really well to win 3 handicap hurdles with a horse called Calenso, and 2 of those victories were in Tramore. And of course the Fasty First Fun Syndicate, they had a brilliant time out there in August. They had 2 winners, the same horse, Cusp of Carabelli. On the opening day of the festival, this horse scored over fences, and then 24 hours later he came back and scored over her. So it just goes to show you, your horses are fit,
and that was John Bubbles Grant.
That's correct, he heads it up, and
I think they're still celebrating.
I think so, and they'll probably be there hopefully again next August with this horse, because I think probably better ground suits him rather than the heavy ground that we have at the moment. I suppose the crowd at the Tramore for the style evening was a fantastic evening. The weather played its part, Matt, and that went down hugely successful. On the flat here in Ireland, Aidan O'Brien continues to churn out the winners, and his son Joseph sent out winners galore on the flat and over jumps. We have a third O'Brien now in the training ranks. Donica, he gave up, he was champion jockey, and he gave up riding horses because I suppose his weight, Matt, he's nearly 6 foot, and he was trying to do these 8 stone and a half stone. How he did it for so many years, I don't know. He's training horses in his own right now. He's got 25 horses for the flat, and he's training them in County Tipperary. So we've 3 O'Briens to keep an eye out: Aidan, Joseph and Donica.
Yeah, are they going to dominate everything? Do you think it's good or bad?
Sure, look, what can you do, Matt? You know what I mean? Aidan is not going to be there either forever, Aidan is probably in his 50s now at this stage, so it'll be interesting to see who I wonder, do Coolmore have what we call a succession plan for when maybe Aidan calls time on his career training, because I'd say it's a pressure job, Matt, if you don't have to produce classic winners year in, year out, you know what I mean? Will Joseph step up to the plate then? Will Donica step up to the plate? I just don't know, but you're right, they will be, and they have loads of horses. Donica has the least amount, he's got 25, but he's only starting out, and he said he wants to see how he can manage 25 and then maybe expand going forward. But,
I'm sure it's a case of quality, not quantity.
I would imagine
him
so.
At the moment.
I would imagine so, yeah. It's going to be all new to him as such, but look, I've said they've learned an awful lot from Aidan. Obviously Joseph has, because he's been very successful in his short space of time, a Melbourne Cup, and then he sounds out winners in Cheltenham as that as well. So, you know, he's got it all. I suppose in the UK, John Gosden and Frankie Dettori had another brilliant season. They won an awful lot of races. The likes of Stradivarius was a flag bearer for them, and they'll probably continue to dominate into 2020.
He really is the Peter Pan, isn't he, Frankie Dettori? I mean, he's getting older, but he's getting better.
He is, yeah. He's very fit, Matt, you know what I mean? I suppose he was in the doldrums there for a couple of years. He had a couple of personal problems with drugs and that, but look, he's put all that behind him and he's bounced back better than ever. John Gosden wouldn't be putting him up on those good horses if he didn't think he could do the job, and I'd say Frankie now is fighting fit and he's looking forward to 2020 because there'll be some very nice horses to ride out of the John Gosden stable. Returning to the National Hunt side of the game, Gordon Elliott had another good year. Tiger Roll, Matt, won back-to-back Grand Nationals, and hopefully he'll be there again in April to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, is the owner O'Leary? He was kind of hemming and hawing about it. Go for the third.
That's Michael O'Leary, you know. Now they've said last year as well, or this year, that they're going to pull out, Matt, of National Hunt race, of racing as such. They're not going to pull out straight away because they have an awful lot of young horses, but they have stopped buying new horses. So over the next 2 to 3 years, you'll see a gradual reduction in their string. People have asked me, like, would the likes of Henry suffer over that? I don't think so, because Henry's doing such a good job. I'd say there's people who are queuing up to get horses into him at the moment. So, you know, the O'Learys will be there for maybe the next 2 to 3 years, but after that, they've said that they won't be buying any, or they've stopped buying any horses. So you'll just see a reduction.
And do you think Tiger Roll will go for the 3 in a row?
I think he will, Matt, because I don't think he'll get a better opportunity. He's only a handy little horse. He's a great horse. He'll be carrying probably top weight, but look, you'd love to see him going for it. I think they'll probably they might give him the cross-country race in Cheltenham in March. That should just tune him up nicely then for April, and Davy Russell will be back in the plate, and hopefully he can go on. I think it'd be great if he made it 3 in a row. I think Red Rum won it 3 times possibly, but not 3 years in a row.
No, not 3 years in a row.
So that'd be something unique, and I'd say they would probably retire him after that, Matt, because he couldn't do any more for them, you know what I mean? Exactly, such. There were a number of high-profile retirements during the year. Noel Feely was a very good jump jockey, originally from County Cork, but played his trade in the UK for a long number of years. He called it a day. And of course, probably one of the greatest ever jump jockeys in Ireland and England, the world, Ruby Welch, called time and a brilliant career in the saddle. He seems to be enjoying his role now, Matt, as a pundit on TV. He's getting plenty of work from the likes of RTE, Racing TV, and he was on ITV as well.
Yeah, and he looks so more relaxed, and you know, the pressure is off him completely. And he announced his retirement in a funny way. He just rode a winner and said,
That's it, yeah. Caught a lot of people by surprise, but when you think back on it, it probably wasn't a surprise. I mean, he got some terrible injuries down through the years. He's got a young family. Why would he keep putting himself in danger? Even it was interesting, I think last week there, that he was writing work for Willie Mullins at Punchestown or Fairy House, and he said to Willie, will we have to jump? He did. He's not, I suppose he just wants to keep right out on the flat. He's a kind of an assistant trainer now to Willie Mullins. When media duties allow, Willie said. That's nice, what he said. So then, of course, we can't forget the season without talking about the father and son combination of Declan Queally and Kappa there in County Waterford. They've certainly, they've always had decent horses, pointers, but I think they've got in some very, very good horses. They've done extremely well with the small string up there, and they'd be ones I'd keep an eye out in 2020 to, just keep on the right side of their horses.
We love Waterford. We are WLR.
Greyhound and horse racing, it's an industry which is keeping a lot of people in jobs essentially in rural Ireland, and is really impacting a lot of people's incomes. And I suppose, like anything, it was hit unfortunately by the recession, and that doesn't just include greyhound and horse racing, it includes a lot of industries. But as I say, quite a number of reasons to be positive, a number of which you see here in Kilcohen Park this morning. I mean, we're sitting here on the back of an SIS meeting, which is one of a number of initiatives that we've begun, as I say, to try and progress the industry into what we believe is a positive future.
Yeah, that was Josh Prendeville there, the IGB press officer that was upon our visit to Kilcohen Park earlier on this year. And of course, Mark Phillips, who's still with us in studio. Of course, Kilcohen Park, the early Thursday mornings was, I suppose, a new venture this year, and I suppose positive progress.
Yes, indeed. A new initiative started on January the 3rd. It's hard to figure out that we're nearly at it 12 months now at this stage, Gavin. So, look, the feedback from SIS has been very positive, and the current SIS contract runs until the end of 2020, so it'll be all reviewed at that stage. But I think it's been important that Kilcohen Park participated in that during the year, and fair dues to all the owners and trainers and the staff and the management. Like, everybody came together to make it
everyone
work.
bought into it, really.
Everyone bought into it, and it's tough in the winter time getting up for owners. Like, some of them would be up at 5:30 in the morning, because we've owners, a lot of owners from Wexford, and they've got to do a lot of travelling. But look, everybody's bought into it, and I suppose it's great to see it happen.
Absolutely, indeed. Any other standout moments?
I suppose there's a lot. There was a lot happened off the track, more so than on the track during the year, Gavin. We had the RTE programme on, Prime Time Investigates.
Really,
it did a lot of damage to the industry. But look, we just have to take it on the chin, put our house in order, and get on with it, and just put it behind you. It's a setback. Look, everybody has setbacks in life at some stage, but you just have to keep your head held high and just move on.
And I suppose the main thing of it was that came of it was that passionate greyhound people like yourself and fantastic ambassadors, that you didn't feel that kind of portrayed the industry in the right manner, the way that documentary was broadcast.
That's true. Nothing like that happens in Waterford, you know what I mean? So why would we be taking the flack in Waterford? But look, as I say, we just have to move on from it, Gavin. Also, the Indicon report came out where they analysed all the different tracks. They brought in a consultancy company. They went through every track, looked at attendances, parking spaces, access, population, all that sort of thing. And the recommendations have come out that in 2024 tracks, that is Enniscorthy, Youghal, Longford and Lifford, will not have funding from the IGB. It's tough on those tracks. If we can play our part to help out a lot of the owners in Enniscorthy and Youghal, we certainly will during the year. There'll be a further analysis now taking place at the end of 2022, so there could be further closures. In the interim, we need to ensure in Kilcoan Park that Kilcoan Park realises its full potential vis-a-vis attendances and restaurant bookings on Saturday night. So look, that's something we certainly have to keep our eye on the ball.
Just to maintain that, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, yes indeed. We ran a number of unraced sweepstakes during the year on the track, and one of those winners, Grandview 10, went on to win the Produce Stakes Classic at Clonmel. So they're a great feeder for further competitions during the year, these unraced competitions. In April, we staged the Gain Select Stakes, first prize there of €13,000. The winner was a 7-2 shot Blue East in a winning time of 28.44. The O'Neill's Dog Food Munster Oaks took place in September, carried a first prize of €4,500. The winner was Grandview West in a fast time of 28.22, and on the same card, Jerry Kiley's Airmount Act captured the final of the Dan Casey Caravan and Camping Park unraced event. I was just looking, Gavin, during the week that by the end of this month, December, we'll have staged 107 fixtures in Kilcoan Park during the year. That's the largest number of meetings staged at the venue in a long time. So in Waterford alone, the amount of prize money we would have actually paid out is €400,000, which is a huge amount. Now that's all going into the local economy in the southeast, the likes of Waterford City and County, South Kilkenny and Wexford, and that's only prize money. It does not include payroll and salary. So €400,000 alone in prize money for the 100 fixtures. I think that's great.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice note to end on, and keep her lit, as they say. Mark Phillips, pleasure as always dealing with you throughout the year. Enjoy the remainder of the Christmas and best wishes for the new year.
Many happy returns, Gavin.